How often to eat a day? Once, twice, 5 times? Let's talk about it right now. The question of meal frequency has long been a topic of great fascination, right? It dates back to ancient Romans. Now, what Romans believed that a single meal per day was the path to good health. And a lot of people still believe that. Is it true? Let's talk about that. This belief has been perpetuated throughout the history. We know that. In the 1980s, a Canadian study claimed that the benefits of nibbling diet, for example, of 17 snacks per day. However, recent research also has cast doubt on the benefits of frequent meals as well. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that meal frequency had no effect on weight loss or metabolism. The study's lead author concluded that there is no compelling evidence supporting recommendations to eat multiple times per day. According to findings of another study, the consumption of several smaller meals throughout the day had little impact on glucose levels measured before breakfast. However, the study came to the conclusion that delaying the consumption of the majority of the meals for somebody to do that until the evening, to eat all the calories in the evening, they also had a negative impact on their ability to keep their blood sugar under control in the morning. So the jury is still out there whether the meal frequency plays a role in your diabetes health and wellness. Now, what is my recommendation? That's coming up. Stick at least 5 more minutes around and you will be glad you did. When we eat, our digestive system breaks down the food, you're right, so including the proteins, and even the proteins get converted into glucose, right? So the premise behind eating smaller and more frequent meals is that you can control your blood sugar a little better by eating smaller meals, and more often we can actually prevent spikes in blood sugar levels because you have less glycemic load, right? So when blood sugar levels spike, it can lead to, again, feelings of fatigue, and you can have hunger later. But by eating more frequently, we can actually help to keep our blood sugar levels more stable and stay off the feelings of hunger. As a result, eating smaller and more frequent meals can actually help us control our appetite and, loading ourselves with too much sugar at a time. The question is, who has the time and effort to find a healthy snack all day long? The problem I see here is that people grabbing whatever they can get their hands on, which will defeat the whole purpose, right? So there is no denying that the blood sugar levels can have a big impact on your hunger and cravings. So you need to really know how to regulate that. When blood sugar levels drop, the body starts to signal that it needs more fuel, right? It could be due to medication or some other reason, especially if you're on medications like glipizide, glyburide, or insulin and so forth. But for some people, it's because they eat too much sugar and then their sugar drops and they want more sugar, right? It triggers the intense cravings for high carbohydrate foods. Now, when you're eating small, frequent meals is one way to help it, as long as you're picking up the low glycemic index foods that can actually prevent cravings from occurring from at the first place. You're actually supplying this constant supply of nutrients available that is slowly absorbed, and as a result, that will prevent the triggers for cravings and overeating. Here the trick again is to choose a very low glycemic index foods and snacks. If you want to learn more about that, please watch my videos on healthy snacks. All you have to do is type SugarMD and search whatever you're searching. You will find a video about it. Now, when you consume high glycemic index carbs like candy or bread or rice or cookies and chips like that most people carry in their home, they will end up spiking their blood sugar levels. And then their blood sugar will drop much quicker because they are not eating any fiber with it. And they're going to end up feeling hungry within 2 hours. Well, again, this approach may not work for everyone, but if you can control your snacks and you can choose the right amount of snacks with the right amount of fiber, you will be okay with eating small meals throughout the day. That is a solid approach. It's all about what you're choosing to eat, okay? It makes sense that you're spreading your calories. If you're eating 1,000 calories and you're eating every 2 hours, that's not going to help. I'm not talking about this, right? So if you're eating very small calories, like 200 calories every couple hours, will be beneficial for diabetics if you are having these calories in a healthy way with a low glycemic index foods like snacking on carrots and cucumbers and things like that are not going to spike your blood sugar levels will actually help you with burning the fat and keeping the blood sugars down. Now, according to a recent study, for example, they found mixed results. What happened is participants, like some of them had 6 meals per meal per day, and they had no metabolic advantage over those who ate 3 large meals. The only difference between the two groups was that the small meal group reported higher levels of hunger because they were eating, basically junk food, and they wanted to eat more all the time. So again, if they chose the right amount of food with the high fat and low glycemic index foods, that would not be the case. So if you're going to eat high glycemic index carbs every couple hours, that's gonna actually do more harm than good. So if you're trying to lose weight and you cannot be disciplined to choose the right snacks, then you may want to stick to either 3 square meals a day or do intermittent fasting and eat once or twice a day. Otherwise, you're going to end up feeling hungry all the time. That's not going to help. What about eating once a day? Well, intriguing results or findings from recent studies lend really credibility to the concept of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting can really offer a lot of health benefits. It was discovered that a change in the way that body metabolizes food after a weekly fast, in that study was as brief as 16 hours, but they actually have seen measurable health benefits for each individual. So you still have to keep your calorie intake within a healthy, reasonable range when you're intermittent fasting, regardless of the number of times per day you choose to consume food. So if you're fasting for 16 hours, eating 8 hours, you need to still keep your calories down, okay? Now, you can do that for a couple times a week, and the rest of the week you can do 5 small meals. 2 to 3 times a week you can do 1 meal. So you can mix and match, and I think at the end you will be successful. Everybody has to find pretty much their own way. Being conscientious about what you're eating and your fasting and so forth is going to give you results. Always stay away from processed foods and sugars that have been refined, that are high in glycemic index, and stop the sugary drinks. Again, because they're all sorts of empty calories, and it's going to end up making you feel hungry and other harmful effects as well. Again, the foundation of a good diet is it should be high in nutrition, it should be high in healthy fats, healthy plant proteins, and vegetables, especially dark leafy greens and fresh fruits, right? So that's going to give you a constant supply of energy. And we are aware that you haven't told us before, but just in case you forgot, you gotta exercise. If you're eating a little carb here and there, you should be exercising to burn that off, to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle and healthy blood sugar. Without exercise, most diets eventually fail, so you better stick to your exercise on a daily basis. Well, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we are at the end of this video and you don't want to miss any of our wonderful videos. We have over 300 videos right now. It's probably going to be 3,000 before you know it. So stay tuned. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.